Morning folks, just a quick Thursday morning update, a very quick one to bring you the latest positional update. There's been quite a lot of activity in the last number of hours, so let's go through it very quickly. So let's start with dollar yen. We just closed those trades now. That was a short position. We've been short all the way down from 150, 160 and getting in and out as we've been down. So we've been selling rallies, exiting on dips, not always perfectly, but pretty well actually, I think, considering that this is a tricky currency to trade, and we've finally taken our last piece out right there. We've also covered some of the other yen pairs. Let's go across to this chart on here, and I've got the dollar yen, euro yen, pound yen, Aussie yen, Swiss yen, and CAD yen, and we've covered all of these. I had a couple of these still open, and on one account I've still got one or two open. So I'm looking to resell all of these on bounces. You can see the sort of thing. Let's just have a look at the Swiss yen one on this chart. We've come down to the support level here, this previous swing low in the beginning of this congestion zone. We've got better support down below us. I'm not sure if we're going to get there on first attempt, but we might. Nevertheless, we're looking for a retracement back up into some of these Fibonacci levels, previous support and resistance over here, and that sort of path. And then looking for this to move a hell of a lot lower. Same goes for dollar yen and all the yen crosses actually. So here's the dollar yen. We've now formed this downward sloping channel. We've reached the support level. Let me zoom out, show you why. Probably easier on a daily chart. So you can see we've come right down into that support. That's previous resistance and previous support. And in fact, going back even further, you can see it's a pretty key level going all the way back into 2022. So we've come down there now, and this is the sort of path I'm looking for. This is the day chart. I think my target for this is around about 130 yen to the US dollar, maybe 135. So we're looking for a bounce back up to this previous support and resistance level at around 146.50. Going back to the 4-hour chart, gives you a bit of a better view on that, and that's the sort of path we're looking for. So that's the key level, 146.50-ish on dollar yen. So just going across the tabs here, all the yen pairs, we've described all of that. Going across to the stocks, we're short on NASDAQ and short on Apple. Apple actually did pretty well yesterday, and NASDAQ. We're also watching Tesla for a potential island reversal, but I'm looking at the market in pre-market right now. It's not happening yet again. So maybe we'll take another day or two and we'll still get the opportunity to form this island, maybe just a little bit longer and then down. Let's see how that goes right now. I'm not trading Tesla at the moment, but we are short Apple. And I posted this up in X yesterday as well as my members group. That's our entry level right at the top. And we've come down quite nicely on Apple. I'm looking for a move down to the spike low. I think that's a bad tick or bad wick. It doesn't show on some of the other brokers, but nevertheless, perhaps something printed there. But we've got the moving averages down here in the channel top, the 200 period moving average. And I'm looking for Apple to move back into these areas down here. Same thing on NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually looked pretty good yesterday, and we're following this path downwards, a nice rounded top. I bought a new mouse pen to do these drawings a bit better, but the battery is actually flat, so I'm going to have to replace the battery. Works pretty well though. But this is the sort of rounded top. I'm using the cursor. Actually, that's not too bad. Sort of rounded top there, and lots of spikes and wick highs. Yesterday was a bearish engulfing candle. Today just moving up a wee bit. I always like to see the indices in pre-market moving in the opposite direction to that direction in which we're trading. That's what's happening now. And often we get a counter trend move and then a continuation as the market opens. Market opens in about 3 hours time. But so far so good. And we have closed beneath the 20 period moving average. So that's NASDAQ, and we are short on that from about 16,050. And then S&P, this is quite funny I think, because I drew this picture in quite a long time ago, maybe a week and a half now. And I said we'd get this potential rounded top, but we may have to test the top of the dome several times. It's exactly what we did yesterday and on previous occasions, and we're just testing the top of that dome and beginning to follow this red path, which I thought had no chance of working out, but there you go. Pretty good. The other trade I wanted to take yesterday was short Nvidia at around about $480, and we just didn't get there. And that's because it's previous resistance over here, consolidation here, a bit of resistance there, and also the 20-day moving average precisely at $480. Often stock markets, stock names, and indices will trade in and around the 20-day moving average. Doesn't matter what you're looking at, individual names or indices. It's well worth keeping an eye on the 20-day simple moving average. Going across to metals very quickly, we're long on URA. We covered that in previous videos. And we're also long on gold as of this morning. I was hoping for a dip down to 2,000 on gold. I've got a stink bid that remains in place there, but I'm not too sure we'll get there. This was a terribly nasty move a couple of days ago. Big spike up, $140 and back down again. But I think that we've now cleared the way above the previous all-time highs, and we've made space for us to move higher. I'm not even sure if we'll get to $2,000. So we've taken a very small long position at 2030. Going across to commodities, nothing really here. We got out of our sugar trade, took a fantastic, magnificent profit on sugar. We're short on London cocoa futures. I did advise my members it was a good opportunity again this morning to short once again on the spike high. If they were a little light on their short positions on London cocoa, we got up there up to the top of this range and promptly just collapsed back down from 3,590 all the way down to 3,530 already. So big move down after that move up. And I hope some of you managed to get that if you were a little light on your position on London Cocoa Futures short. Our target for this is about 3,000, so a long way to go down, and we'll continue to sell on rallies. Bitcoin, we had a short from yesterday, pretty close to the top. We just closed that out this morning. Not 100% convinced. I would have liked to have seen a stronger pullback, which we didn't get. It's just holding too strong and too firm at the top there. And we're actually above this 50% Fibonacci retracement level already. And I think the next potential level is probably up here at around about 48,000. Looks like a long way up, another $5,000. But Bitcoin can do that. Bitcoin does that sort of thing. So perhaps we'll try and short it around 48,000, or we'll buy into dips. We'll just leave that one for now. Brent crude oil and WTI, we got out of our short positions yesterday. I don't know what's going to happen next. We're at $70. I think we may thrash around $70 for the next week or two or three. I don't know. We'll wait to see what happens there. But once again, we will look to sell on rallies or buy on much deeper dips on WTI. We're long on VIX-Y, waiting for that to explode at some stage when the markets do. This trade could last days, weeks, even months. When the VIX eventually goes, it goes really fast, but it can stay at the bottom for an awfully long time. And then natural gas, the one that you're all waiting for. I've now removed my short hedge down here. We're naked long right now, looking for a move back up to $3. And then beyond $3 and this 200 period moving average, we've got the megaphone top right above there at about 330, where this previous swing high is. We're at the megaphone bottom right now, but there is space to move further still down to about 245 and potentially even lower if we look at the bottom of this big red channel. So it's going to be a tussle. Are we going to hold the bottom of this big megaphone, or are we going to reach down to the channel bottom and have to touch that? So potentially down to about 240 to 245 even. We're at 250 now. I think, however, that 250 may well hold. It's a very, very key and important number on natural gas. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and good luck with your trading. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. It'll help the channel out. And if you don't want to subscribe, just give us a thumbs up. That would be good enough. Thanks so much. Have a great trading day.